Good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mark.
Right, good afternoon. Okay, last lesson we talked about Jilin province again and rice in particular. Okay?
Yes.
Now, as we discovered last lesson, some people say that in the north of China you eat pastry, in the south of China you eat rice. But as we used me as an example, yeah, I've traveled the north and south and everybody eats rice. Okay? Now, as long as you like it, you'll eat it, and if you don't, you won't. But let's talk about rice, okay? Does anybody remember when rice was first grown?
7,000 years ago.
7,000 years ago. And if you remember, the ancient people back then used to put the rice into their mouths and eat it whole, chew it. Now, as we know, in today's world, we have rice, but we don't have to peel it, do we? The shells have been removed. The rice has been cleaned, and we can just buy it, take it home, wash it, and then cook it, yes?
Yes.
But you can imagine 7,000 years ago is a long time. But up until the 19th century, that's when we first started to make, okay, machines that would help us, okay? Machines. Now, these machines would do the jobs that we didn't want to do. Pick rice, peel rice, sift the rice. Sieve the rice is like cleaning it, get any unwanted bugs or anything on the rice. But you know, every year and every decade, and even every millennium, technology is always improving and always improving. And we can say now, we can go to the shop, buy rice, and it's perfectly okay to take home and eat later. Everything has been done, it's nice and safe. It's a good quality rice because it's been grown. And because Jilin province grows rice, every year the rice outtake has increased and increased. Now, some people say Jilin, or the north of China's rice, is the best in China.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may disagree, but I personally used to live in the south and would have rice from the north because it was different. Okay? Now, let's just move on, okay? Let's move on. Right. Jilin province itself. It has good, okay, conditions for planting rice, okay? Good conditions. So what are the advantages? First, we have water, sunlight, temperature, and soil, okay? Obviously, we need sunlight, okay? Very important. Water, we need that, quite a lot of it. This one, temperature, okay? Now, from previous lessons, we know that we do have a good temperature in Jilin province, yes? Because we also grow a lot of corn. Now, we've got the temperature, we've got the sunlight, and we've got water. Those are three good things we have. And the fourth one, we also have good soil. Yeah? Because if you don't have good quality soil, you cannot grow good quality products. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, looking at that, okay, we have everything we need compared to other places in China. For example, down south is very hot. Yes?
Yes.
Or it could be very humid. But we have a lot of sunlight and we have sunny days. But we have something else that the south doesn't really have. We have a very long, cold winter. So we can't really grow a lot outside, unless it's put into a special environment in a greenhouse or a proper building of some kind to grow certain types of food, okay? So rice itself. Rice likes warm conditions, maybe humid too, okay? Now, like with the corn, it's planted separately. It can't be all bunched together because it needs to grow, it needs to attract the sunlight, and it needs its own source of water. It can't be fighting with each other. Just like corn, they're planted in rows with a distance between them so they can absorb what they need naturally. Now, temperature, okay? Now, temperature can change, yes?
Yeah.
Some days it's very hot, some days it's not so hot. So, for rice to grow, it needs somewhere in the region of a nice temperature between 18 and 25 degrees. Okay? Doesn't sound a lot, 18. But as long as it's warm and still getting its sunlight, it's fine. Now, the climate of Jilin province is very good, okay? Very good. We have annual temperatures, but we also have an annual rainfall as well. Okay? Now, for this, it helps the rice growers, okay? Because they've got two things they need. Now, the rice industry is unfortunately quite small compared to the other industries in Jilin province. Yes? But over time, it will still increase and get bigger and bigger. Okay? Now, let's have a look at the first one, sunlight. Yeah, we like sunlight, yes. Very useful for us to survive. We can also use it for power, but most importantly, we need it to grow things, okay? We need it to grow things. Now, sunlight is very important to plants. Doesn't matter what you grow, because every plant needs sunlight, okay? Every plant. Now, the more sunlight you have, the better things you can grow, okay? Right, so sunlight is very important for us. Now, water, okay? Water. Where do we get the water from? Do we rely on the atmosphere? Do we rely on Mother Nature to give us rain?
Sometimes from the river.
River. That is very close, okay? Now, Jilin itself, okay? Jilin itself. Let's have a look. Here we go. Here's a map of Jilin, okay? Now, if you look very carefully, you can see there are many, many rivers, okay? That spread across the whole of the province. So we could say that the province has a natural source of water within the whole area, yes?
Yeah.
So that means we have lots of farmlands that have access to natural water. Yes? Natural water. So you can see the rivers stretching across the whole province, which is very good for growing crops. Now, moving on, temperature, okay? Temperature. Now, Jilin is very large, okay? It's not small, it's quite a big place. Is the temperature going to be the same all over the province?
No.
No, because there's certain things in between us. For example, mountains, yes? Mountains can change the temperature and other areas are just open and flat. Okay, so that ranging throughout the province, you can have a different temperature, okay? Now, the summer temperatures in Jilin province are actually quite good, okay? Now, when we say quite good, they are within the growing temperatures to grow rice, from 18 to 25 degrees or Celsius. Now, as you can see, the different colours represent a different temperature, yes? Now, where is Changchun? So you see the average there? So summer is very good for us, okay? Now let's have a look. So we've done sunlight, done water, done temperature. So that brings us on to the last one.
Soil.
Soil. Now, Jilin province is located in the world famous Black Soil Belt. Okay. Now, black soil. We've talked roughly before about different kinds of soil. Black soil, brown soil, red soil, okay? But we have black soil. So that means it must be good, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Here is a lovely picture of a farmland or agricultural land that's been cultivated, and you can see the colour of the soil. So this is ideal for growing rice, okay? Ideal for growing rice. Right. So with the four things, we have them all. We've got the sunlight, we have the water, we have the temperature, and we have the soil, okay? So let's have a look at this. Advantages, okay? Advantages. Right. Jilin rice belongs to the northeast rice, okay? So advantages of it. Climate, yeah? Which means we have good weather, okay? Now, the climate in the south is hot, okay? Hot.
Yeah.
Now, because it's hot down in the south, you can have 1 or 2 periods of time to grow crops, okay? So you grow them faster down south. But for us, we have a very cold winter. So we can only produce maybe 1 growing period, okay? So that would mean our period would be longer to grow the crops. So the crops can get more sunlight and have more time to grow, okay, and mature, which will have a good impact on our crops to the south. Because down south, they're rushed and grown fast. Up in the north, they take longer to grow. So that must mean there is a difference in taste, flavour, texture, from rushed to slow. So there must be a difference in the taste, okay? Rice, yeah, it is different, okay? Now, in the south, you have longer rice. In the north, it's shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Well, technically, it's because rice down in the south contains more water than up in the north. Right. Now, with our rice, okay, yeah, what is the difference with rice? One short, one big? Taste?
Type are different. 2 different types.
2 different types. Okay, 2 different types. So we're not talking about colour though, are we?
No.
No. Now, compare the 2 different rices, okay? These 2 pictures together show us rice, okay? The left is a southern rice. And then you have the other picture, which is your northern rice, okay?
Mm.
Now, the southern one is longer, okay? and it has a lot of water. Now, if we look at the rice from the northeast, it's more round. Yeah?
Yes.
More round than the other one. Yeah? And they stick to each other, unlike the other one. Okay? And if we were to touch them, this one is more softer than the other. Okay, so it's got a different texture, different feel to it.
Different taste.
Yeah, and once it's cooked, it will have a different taste. But until you cook it, it's still rice. Now, like I said, I like northern rice. But most people, do you think they have the same opinion or not? Or does it matter?
Generally, people like northern rice. Because like you said, the northern rice, the growing length is longer, so it can absorb the nutrition and something. So it's like the fully matured. The taste is a little bit better. People prefer it.
So you're saying that people prefer the slower grown because it has longer time period to mature, to grow with the sun, absorb more nutrition. So maybe that taste is better compared to rice from the south because they have 2 growing periods. So it's fast, it's taken down and regrown and sold. So yes, it would have a different taste. Now, for us, do you think that would have an impact on other products like rice cakes? Would it taste different for porridge?
If like we're going to make rice cake or something, to make other food, I think the southern rice is more suitable for it because it can be produced a lot.
Okay.
Have very good production.
Yeah, because it's faster down south because of the temperatures. It's grown twice. But what we're saying is that northern rice is best for eating. Yeah, to enjoy rice, most people would say that northern rice tastes better. But for cooking and other things, we could say we'd use southern rice.
Yeah, but also it will depend. It's up to people's preference. And some of them, they may like the southern rice. They may do not like the taste of the northern rice.
Do you think people actually know the difference?
I think they do.
You think they do?
Yeah.
Well, to me, rice comes in a bowl. It's white. And the only time I can tell if there's something different, if it's small or big. But I have no idea why. It's just rice. But as we've discovered, down south it's bigger. Up here it's smaller.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the rice industry is very popular, okay? And you can do other things with rice. So what other things can we do with rice? Just like corn, we can have oils, snacks, wine, fuel, especially alcohol, as in the ethanol type. So rice is actually more useful than corn.
For food.
For food and for other things. Yes? But you can't make clothes out of rice.
No.
Not yet, but maybe in the future you will do. Are there any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.